Today, it's all about the tools. Okay guys, today we're going to talk about my favorite top 10 tools that you need for building my kits. Number one tool, most useful, works on a variety of different projects. Household to building props, the Allen keys. Okay, you can pick these things up at any hardware store. They're not that expensive. In the US, we use more of the fractional, but they usually come in a pack where you get the metric ones with it. Very useful. Also, they make them in the T-handle version too, which if you're doing a lot of building on benches and stuff, these things will let you, have a little more torque on them. Easy to handle, but necessity, you have to have them. Number two, screwdrivers. Now, this is probably one of the most common tools in any household, but it amazes me at how many people don't own any of them. I think it's very important. Own a variety of them in various sizes. Phillips flathead, and they come in different lengths, different blade widths. Also, when you're in dime stores or hardware stores, I love these little things. These are so handy. A lot of times in prop building, you're dealing with little teeny tiny microscopic screws, and these kits you buy, they'll have a variety of different bits in them, but they'll have the super small ones too, because you always run into that little teeny tiny screw that you're not going to find a normal screwdriver to do. Number three, cordless drills. These are so handy for everything. You can use them for the screwdriver bits or Allen key bits, or even for the drill bits. But you don't obviously have to have a snap-on when there's a variety of different ones. But these are super handy. Most people have these at some point, but these are very important. Number four, drills, or most people call them drill bits. Now, in a lot of my posts, you'll see that I'm talking about number drills, letter drills, fractional drills. This set here, you don't see very often in like regular hardware stores, but they are Harbor Freight, places like that. You will find them. You've probably just never noticed them. But, a lot of times you hear me talk about I'm using a number 15 drill or a number 33. This is where that's coming from. And in the machining world, this is very common. In just the regular, people typically will have the fractional drills, which they're right here. You got your 1/8, your quarter, so and so, so forth. But over here, there's also, you've got letter drills, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These all will be very useful when you're mounting or drilling certain holes for certain screws. But I highly suggest picking up a set of these. Now, I have seen these in some hardware stores, like Harbor Freight and places. The kit's about $60 or $70, and it's well worth it. So there you go. Number five, clippers, pliers, that sort of thing. As you can tell, I love finding these little cheap kits in places, because a lot of these little pliers and clippers and needle nose, they're so useful for stuff, and you never know when you're going to need them. So anytime you see these little packs here, I'll pick one up just to have them. Little wire cutters, and this is kind of an extreme one, and one of my favorite tools on the planet is internal pliers. How many times have you had something in there and slid in there, you just grab it, slide it out? But having a variety of pliers and clippers is very important. And you probably won't have all these at once, but it's good when you see something like that, pick it up, and you can put it on your little hobby wall there, and they'll be real useful. Number six, ball peen hammer. Okay, very simple little device here. Sometimes you've got to do a little tapping or straightening up. It's good for that, or forming metal. Also, you'll hear me talk about in a lot of my blog videos, where if you have to push a pin in or snap something together, you don't want to hit it with the metal part. You can use the wood handle for stuff. This is a super useful little tool. and they're not very expensive. You can pick them up at any hardware store. There again, number 6. Okay, number 7, Dremel tool. Now this is just the name brand one, but there's a lot of little motors like this. Super useful for a lot of different things. Even the basic little pack you buy has grindstones. It has little end mills in it, sanding discs, and cut-off wheels. You know, you can use this for so much stuff. I mean, cutting off metal, enlarging holes, deburring, which is very important when pieces don't fit together. You can do a little sanding and shaping with it. Super important. Not a very expensive tool. You need one. Number 8, hobby knives or X-Acto knives. And I picked this up this morning when I was in an automotive place. I thought it was a super cool kit. Has all kinds of little saws and blades, and you know, you can, I'm sure everybody knows what, you know, little scalpel looking knives look like. They're super sharp, good for cutting plastic, trimming things. I've got to be pretty careful with them, but that's, you know, it's imperative. You need these when you're doing this hobby. So there you go. Get you a set of nice hobby knives. Number 9, taps and dies. This probably gives builders the most anxiety. You're having to drill and tap a hole in a blaster or a replica to mount a scope mount or whatever. You know, this is going to go back to your number drill set and your taps and dies, because you're going to need to drill the proper hole, and then you're going to need to tap it. Okay. And I highly suggest looking in the hardware store and finding a tap and die set. And they'll come, this is a basic set you pick up. It starts out at $440 and goes all the way up to, this one right here is which I don't use this one very much, but you get on this 3/8/16, you know, and you've got all of them in between, and you've got the tapping handles. And if you've got your number drill set, it'll have a chart right here. So if you wanted to tap a 440 hole, that is a number 43 drill. So you'd come over here and grab your 43 drill your hole, and then grab your 440 tap and your tapping handle, and you'd start tapping holes. So, you know, it takes a little practice with it, and there's videos on how to do this, but you know, it's not magic. You know, you can learn it. So first things first is, you know, get the proper tools. You need a tap and die set. Number 10, files. All of the kits that we do here at the Blaster Factory, you know, and they're machined, and we polish and deburr as best we can, but as you're fitting things together, you may find you need to smooth out an edge or open up a slot. I highly suggest finding a little inexpensive set of files. There again, they're at, you know, every hardware store, and that way, you know, you've got a way to polish and smooth out edges or chamfer edges, and they're super useful. A little bit more aggressive than trying to use sandpaper. So, but you know, these little jeweler's files are super handy, so I highly suggest them. Okay guys, final note when using any power tools, especially with using drill motors and drill bits and anything, or taps, make sure that you have safety glasses. I've seen a lot of people using the Dremel tools or cut off wheels or anything, hammering, whatever you're doing. Always wear your safety glasses. Taps, drills, things like that, they're super hard, they're brittle, and when they break, pieces can, you know, obviously cause some damage. This little tool here, you've got to give it the proper respect too. Grinding wheels, cut off wheels, when you get them in a bind and they shatter, pieces you go in your eyes, you can lose your sight. So, you know, take it pretty seriously. A cheap pair of $2 safety glasses could save your vision. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands, protect your eyes. There you have it guys, top 10 tools I think you need to get started in your builds. I'll put links at the bottom of the description here so that you can go and look these up for yourself. Obviously, there's many more tools you probably want to collect as you refine your technique and your builds. Hit like at the bottom there, and I'll put links to all these tools in the description. See you next time.